Today, we're going to talk about something that might sound, well, a little weird, but it could completely change how you hit your goals. We're talking about the power of strategic silence. Let's dive in.
You've heard this a million times, right? It's like the number one piece of advice out there. If you have a big dream, you're supposed to shout it from the rooftops. Tell your friends, post about it, get everyone to hold you to it. It's become the default setting for ambition. But what if that's all wrong? I mean, seriously, what if the very thing that's supposed to help you is actually the thing that's quietly killing your chances of success? What if the smartest thing you can do is, well, say nothing at all?
Okay, so if telling people is a bad idea, what's really going on here? This brings us to what we can call the goal-sharing trap. It's this super subtle psychological pitfall that you can fall into the second you broadcast your plans, and it can literally suck the motivation right out of you. And to really get why this trap is so effective, we've got to look at a little bit of brain science, because this isn't just some vague idea. It's a real, measurable glitch in how our brains process rewards. And trust me, this is where it gets fascinating.
Psychologists have a name for this glitch. They call it social reality. And it's this weird thing where just by saying your goal out loud to someone, your brain gets a little confused. It starts to feel like you've already done the thing you just talked about. Your identity starts to feel like the person who achieved the goal before you've even taken the first step. So here's how that plays out. Let's say you announce, I'm going to run a marathon this year, and your friends are all like, whoa, that's incredible. You're amazing. That praise, that social validation, it gives your brain a little hit of dopamine, which feels great. The problem is it's the same chemical reward you would get from actually, doing the work and crossing the finish line. So your brain thinks, job well done, and your actual motivation to go out for a run just tanks. Think of it like this. That social praise is like junk food for your ambition. It feels good in the moment, for sure, but it's just empty calories. You've satisfied that craving for recognition without doing any of the real work, so you're not hungry for the actual achievement anymore.
All right, so we know talking too soon can mess with our own brains, but there's another side to this. What about the way other people see you? This brings us to the power of mystery. See, staying quiet isn't just about protecting your own motivation, it's a straight-up strategic advantage in the real world.
Let's break down those advantages. First, when you just speak less, you automatically seem more mysterious, and people perceive that as power. Second, by not spilling all the details, you create what's called information asymmetry. You know things they don't, which gives you a huge strategic edge. And finally, when you don't show off your plans, you just fly right under the radar. You completely avoid the jealousy and even sabotage that can come when people see you making big moves. It clears the path for you. There's that old saying that really nails this idea. Real deep confidence doesn't need to make a lot of noise. People who are truly powerful, who've really accomplished things, they're usually the ones watching and listening, not the ones talking about how great they are. Their results speak for them because they literally have nothing to prove.
And that idea of quiet confidence leads us to another really big point. Silence isn't just a defensive move, it's actually one of the best offensive tools you have for getting better. It's all about making a conscious shift from talking to learning. I mean, just look at the difference here. When you're talking, you're basically in performance mode. You're trying to sound smart, you're looking for nods of approval, you're defending your ego. But the moment you stop talking and start listening, everything changes. You flip into observation mode. Suddenly, you're a sponge. You're soaking up information, noticing things no one else does, and gaining a massive advantage. It really all comes down to this one simple, powerful truth. When your mouth is moving, you are only repeating things you already know. The second you get quiet is the second you open yourself up to learning something brand new. And that, right there, is where all the growth happens. Okay, now hold on. Before you decide to never speak about your goals again, we need to add a really important piece of nuance here. This is not an absolute black and white rule. There are definitely times when speaking up is the right move. In fact, it's essential. The whole key is something you could call strategic vulnerability. It's all about your intention. You should absolutely share your goals, but only with very specific people who can help you make progress, not just give you praise. We're talking about a trusted mentor who can actually give you guidance, or an accountability partner who's right there in the trenches with you, doing the work too. And for sure you want to talk to experts who have already done what you're trying to do. See the difference? The goal is to get help, not just a pat on the back.
So, with all that in mind, what's the game plan? How do you actually put this idea to work in your own life?
let's talk about your next move. This is really the heart of it all. True discipline is about being willing to delay that gratification. It's about trading that quick, cheap hit of applause you get for making an announcement for the deep, real, lasting satisfaction of actually getting the result. You have to focus on the work, not on talking about the work.
So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Think about one thing, one really important goal you have right now, and decide you're going to go after it quietly, relentlessly, without telling anyone until you've done it. So the question is, what's it going to be?